Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my wonderful and amazing people. I beg, make una help me listen to how May lawyer, the international lawyer from America, DPA, how he analyzes and advises women on marriage. And he also talked about, he made us to understand how you can actually walk out of a marriage, but not the way Yul-Edochie is portraying that it's okay to walk out in a marriage. Just listen to how he analyzes it and the way you can sit your spouse that either way, whether the man or the woman, to work out your marriage before you work out a marriage. Marriage, you don't just get in and get out. Please listen to him.
And he said, if you are not happy with your marriage, you walk away. You walk away from the marriage and marry another one. And if you are not happy with the second one, you walk away. And people were cheering him. They were saying, oh, that's fine. That's nice. Good idea. Now, let me explain to you. And to show you how dumb. You are in a marriage. Marriage under the statute. And you have 4 children. And you decided to walk away from that marriage, whatever that means. But let us say you got a point in that marriage and you're no longer happy with the marriage. You're no longer compatible with your wife. You no longer see a future in the marriage and you want to end the marriage. That's what we have to first understand. That when you say you're not happy, you walk away. How did you come to the point that you're not happy? What led to that? How did you just wake up one morning and say, I'm not happy? There must have been a chain of events and you got to a point where you now know that this marriage has to end in order for there to be, for you to have sanity, for your health, and for your safety, for happiness in your lives. So you decide to walk away or you end the marriage. As an intelligent person, you must understand that the marriage involved so much. You've all changed your lives, changed names. Society had seen you with your wife as a couple, and now you have 4 children. Some of them are teenagers. So you begin to think, how am I going to deal with this? Okay. But after considering all these things, you still decide to end the marriage. As an intelligent person, you're going to call your wife. Call your wife and say, hey, I think we need to talk. And we need to talk privately. When the children are not around, please, let's talk. And she comes for a talk and you say, it is clear that I'm not happy in this marriage. And you are not happy yourself in this marriage. We're having tensions, we're having disagreement. It's not possible for us to plan anymore as a unit. You have your own things you want to do. I have my own things we have to do. Other than the fact that we're living in this house, we are actually living separate and apart. Because you don't know what is going on in my life. I don't know what's going on in your life. We are basically living not like husband and wife. And I don't want this situation to escalate to a point where we will have argument or fight, or where it will become obvious to our children and our neighbors that we are not getting along. So I think it is better for us to separate, to go our different ways, and probably find love again. And she will say, well, I didn't know it got to this point, but you are making a good point. You see, you have now declared the intention to separate to your wife. You've now informed her of what you think about the marriage. You have now conveyed to her your belief that the marriage has no future. This is very important process. This is a very important stage in the process. You have communicated an intent to end the marriage. Okay. But you haven't dealt with the practicalities of it. An intent is not enough. You must deal with practical arrangements for that. So you say, well, I don't know what you think about it, but I think obviously, you know, this is going to involve going to court. So that means I will speak to my lawyer, and you have your own lawyer. By the way, I have put aside X amount of money for you to hire a lawyer of your choice. So get a lawyer of your choice, seek your lawyer's advice, let it be independent advice, so it's not as if anybody is influencing your lawyer. So speak to your lawyer. I have set $3,000 aside for you to engage your lawyer, okay? And I know it may cost more, but I'll be willing to foot the bill. Okay, so you get a lawyer. Since it's my idea that we break up, I should bear responsibility for paying for your lawyers. So, but now we have very important issues to talk about. How about the children? What's going to happen to them? What about this, our house? What's going to happen to it? Okay, now, our cars. This is what I have decided. I'm making this as a proposal to you. Okay, so why not you keep the house for the sake of the children? Stay in the house, keep the house for the children, and stay with the children. In other words, you will have custody of the children, and you keep the house so the children don't have to change school or change environment or have to deal with new friends. Okay, and for you too. So you don't have to change because your hairdresser is here, your gynecologist is down there, your pastor is down there. I don't want you to change your neighborhood. So, because, you know, I initiated the idea of separation. So I think it's good if we can leave you without much disruption in the neighborhood. So keep the house, stay with the children. I will be paying X amount every month for the support of the children. Their school fees I'll continue to pay, and perhaps now that since you have a job, maybe you can take care of their feeding. So I handle school fees, medicals, and X amount. Okay. Now, after the children have attained age 18, we can sell this house. And I keep half, you keep half. Is that a fair deal? We have 2 cars. I'm driving one and you're driving one. You will just continue with our cars as this, okay? Then we have the other properties. You know, how do we work it out? So I'm willing to take 50% and you take 50%. All right? That is what I think. And now, I'm sure we also need to communicate this to our parents. I have to tell my mother, and you have to tell your own parents. And but it is important that we are not telling them for the purpose of their approval, because it's up to us, and we have decided. We're just informing them so they will not be shocked to hear it from somewhere else. And she says, okay, fine, or she will ask questions, or she will say things. She will say, well, I didn't know that the situation had gotten this bad, and I thought we had a chance. I thought we would go for counseling. You say, well, we've gone for counseling. It didn't work. You know, it didn't really work. I'm not happy. I'm not a happy man. I don't know. I'm not blaming you, but I'm not happy in this marriage. This is not how I want my life to be, okay? You know, I don't have the same feelings I had for you before. And, you know, if it continues to go this way, if I keep quiet about it, I am probably going to do things that I wouldn't be proud of. For instance, I'll be starting a new relationship, which is terrible, okay? And, you know, and if we don't manage this now that we can still talk as friends, we may get to a point of resentment where we hate each other. And then that is when there is a problem. And that's what I'm trying to avoid. So that's how we will work out, or that's how we want to end this amicably. This is how you work out on your marriage. And even after discussing these things, it doesn't end there. Because you speak to your lawyer. And your lawyer will speak to her lawyer. And the two lawyers will say, well, the parties have agreed on a few things. They've agreed that the woman will keep custody and the house and the man will be contributing this, and they will share their property 50-50. We don't seem to have disagreement. The two lawyers will say, yeah, there is no disagreement. Everything is smooth and straightforward. Then the lawyers will prepare the paperwork, file it in court, go to court, sign it, and everything goes smoothly. Then you've walked away from your marriage. You remain a good father. You keep your obligations. And you remain friendly with your ex, now your ex. That's how you walk away from a marriage. But what happened? What actually happened in Yul-Edochie's case? Really? For 5 years, or for more than 5 years, he was engaged in an adulterous relationship with another woman. So for 6 years, he was lying to his wife. He was every day you look at your wife in the face, you are lying to her because you are holding a secret. And the woman you are messing around with happened to be somebody's wife, and there are issues of whether she had broken up with her husband fully. Then you became reckless. You got that woman pregnant. And the woman told you, oh, I'm pregnant. There are many things to do. You say, hey, listen, I'm taken by surprise. My wife will be sure. I don't love my wife anymore. We're incompatible. But I have not really explained to her that I want to end the marriage. So now I have to do it. It's awkward for me, but I will try. You hurry immediately. Tell your wife before it's in any newspaper. I'm sorry I have to tell you this, and I'm sorry I'm telling you this in such a manner. I would have wanted us to sit down and discuss my frustration and my sadness and my problems in this marriage. But now I'm being forced by circumstances. You know, I have been having an affair with XYZ woman, and she's pregnant. And we don't intend to terminate that pregnancy. So that means we're going to keep it. This is going to hit the news. And can we just, you know, well, we're ending our marriage anyway. So can we just say that we are separating? That will solve all these things. Just an announcement, you know, through our lawyers that, you know, you and I, you know, have been having challenges in our marriage. We thought it would work out. It didn't really work out, and we have decided to separate. If we make that announcement and then people hear that the other lady is pregnant, it will be better for them to, it will not look stupid, you know. So that's not what this man did. What he did was, because he thought he was this important celebrity, his great man, that he could change the status. Maybe he read a few books. He read some books on sex, and he understood that there is indeed a possibility of what we call ethical non-monogamy, where people agree, decent people agree that they cannot be in a monogamy, open relationship and stuff. Maybe he read it, and then he read the theory that, yeah, you can love two women at the same time. He now, being who he was, he said, well, I'm not bound by the standard of society. I'm not bound to follow their rules. I am Yul-Edochie. I'm a big man. I'm the star. So if I come and tell them I want polygamy, everybody will agree. Everybody will follow polygamy. It makes sense. So he came and said, I'm a proud polygamist. I'm a proud polygamist. He hasn't discussed with his wife. He hadn't walked away from the marriage. He became a proud polygamist. So you don't talk of walking away because you never walked away. You didn't want to walk away. You want to keep the two women. His goal was not to walk away. So, I mean, I'm not supposed to be responding to his interview or commenting publicly, but it's annoying. It is annoying. If he could go out, if his lawyers will allow him to go out on social media and talk nonsense, I will respond to him on social media if I have the time. I'm not going to keep quiet and say, no, we're not going to talk about it. And he's talking about it. Terrible thing. Our legal system in Nigeria is disaster. The court tells people keep quiet, but the case is dragging. How long will they keep quiet? The world needs to know what is happening. The world needs to know. Human beings are not anywhere in the world. I'm speaking from the United States right now. And then a judge here in America cannot tell us to keep quiet and then the case is not going forward. Is that how the world works? It doesn't work that way. When a judge gags people and says don't talk, the judge must be ready to move with the case. The judge must be ready to move with the case fast. The society is not going to wait for you and shut their ears. Because when you gag people and say, don't talk about the case because it's in the court, and the people are talking about the case, they are winning the case in the street. It's all about perception. He goes to court, he said he was not married to Judy, denied it completely, but he's parading her as his wife out there. The damage is being done, emotional damage is being done to men. And if the court cannot protect her from that emotional damage, everything is lost. So it's very unfortunate. I live in a civilized world in the United States. That's where I'm operating right now. No judge here in the Circuit Court of Rockville can tell people to keep quiet and then nothing happens for years. Human beings don't work that way. History doesn't move that way. Anyway, that's by the way. So, but going out there, giving an interview, talking about the case, and you expect people to shut up, and I'm receiving messages from thousands of people asking to know about the progress of the case. For how long will I tell people, oh, I can't talk about the case? The judge said everybody should keep quiet. It's unthinkable. Absolutely unacceptable and unthinkable. That is it. So, but anyway, his idea of working out is so asinine, stupid, and dumb. And he even went on to say, if you don't like the next message, you walk away. You can marry 50 times. How can you marry 50 times? He's 42 years old. Assuming he marries and divorces every year, he's still on the first wife. That means he's got 49 more wives to marry and divorce. Is that possible? That means for the next 50 years, he's marrying and divorcing them. So when he's in 50 years, Yul will be 90 something. So when Yul is 90 something years old, he's still marrying and divorcing them. The marriage. There are legal obligations you create when you get into marriage. Those obligations are very profound and deep. That's why we say, if you're not ready for marriage, don't go in. Don't start. Marriage is not a beer parlor where you walk in and you walk out. But even if you walk into a beer parlor and you drink their beer, try to walk out without paying your bills, you'll be arrested. We walk out. This is a complete abuse of women, and the system help in abusing women. Look at May, as popular as she is, as well off as she is, she's in a divorce court and the case is not moving forward. What if May was a poor person? What if May was one of these unemployed women, or those who come to us and say, oh, I'm working, I'm a teacher, they pay me $25,000 a month. What if she was making $25,000 a month? That means she cannot have justice. So please, I'm telling all of you Nigerian men who are planning or thinking, you walk away based on use that complex processes of law. Nothing is more significant in your life than your marriage. As such, you've got 4 children, you walk away. Who takes care of the children? How do you explain it to the children? And as a celebrity, you have an obligation to society. For you to be, you know what it means to be a celebrity? You become a model. People are looking up to you. People are copying you. Young children are growing up watching TV and say, oh, when I grow up, I want to be like Yul-Edochie. Because he's a star. You bear enormous responsibility on your shoulder. You must present exemplary behavior. Conduct yourself with decency and order. You don't go, you walk out, you keep working out on marriages and working out on children, because when you work out on each marriage, if there's a child, you also work out on that child, and you work out on the social network you have created between you and your wife. You keep working out. At what point will you consider the effect of your behavior on others? Don't you realize that what you do affects people? Don't you sit down and say, my goodness, how will this person be affected? Do you know, can you imagine a girlfriend, if you're breaking up with a girlfriend, if you're a man with conscience and you're breaking up with a girlfriend, you're going to say, oh my God, how is she going to take this? Oh no, this must be very hurtful. What do I do? How do I explain this? I'm really sad that this relationship is not going in the direction it's supposed to go, and I'm breaking.